Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Marcus Mariota has found a new team, Solana was telling me right before we went on the air. So let's get headlines brought to you by Darrell Hyundai. Choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai models in inventory like the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Darrell Hyundai.
I believe it's the same team. I think he was the backup in Washington last year. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I believe he was.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because he went from Tennessee to Philly.
Wasn't he in Vegas also for a year?
He wasn't in Philly.
I think at the end of that quarterbacks show, he went to Philly. Remember, I was watching that quarterbacks documentary on Netflix, and I think he ended up in Philly.
Yeah, in 2023, he was in Philly.
Yeah, Titans, Raiders, Falcons, Eagles, Commanders last year.
Wow. I didn't realize he was on that many teams.
Getting that money. Good addition. His skill set is Jaden Daniels minus Jaden Daniels, but I don't think the offense has to change when he leaves. I think it's a good addition. I would have
liked to have seen him instead of Zach Wilson.
100%.
What's he getting?
The more I think about this,
what's he getting in Washington?
The more I think about this Zach Wilson, the more I dislike it. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
I was talking last night about it.
I thought maybe I would go the other way, that the more I thought about it, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe the Sam Darnold story is in there, whatever. The more I see who's still out there, I'm like, what happened here?
I don't know, man. Marcus Mariota over Zach Wilson. Marcus Mariota to me is just a guy. Don't you guys like the part of we don't know about Zach Wilson, like the unknowing of maybe there's some untapped potential still left? Like, you know what Marcus Mariota is. He'll never be better than that the rest of his career. I get you. From what we've seen from Zach Wilson, it's not promising. I get it, but there's still untapped potential there, isn't there? He's still young. We don't know.
No, I don't feel that way. And it's not, to your point, son, it's not age with me. It's that guy. Marcus Mariota is comfortable in his skin. He's going to come in. It's what we talk about Baker Mayfield. It's what we talk about Gardner Minshew. It's what we talk. You know what? Fitzy. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, when he had his chance, it's almost like, oh, Tua's hurt? Oh, y'all want me to start? Oh, watch this. I don't get that out of Zach Wilson. I saw him fold. I saw his teammates not like him in New York. I just don't know if they can. A backup quarterback needs his entire team to rally around him. I don't think Zach Wilson is a rally around guy.
And also, everything you described, Solana, is everything I wanted to get away from. I wanted to get away from, hey, maybe this guy will be good, because that was the thought with Skylar Thompson. Hey, maybe there's some untapped potential. Found him late, long. We'll put the Magic McDaniel on him, and I said after the season, like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do the wing and a prayer. Hey, maybe Tyler Huntley's going to come in and light it up. I want a guy. That's why I kept saying Jameis or Teddy Bridgewater. I want a guy who has had success. You know what I mean? So it's the exact opposite of what I wanted.
$8 million, by the way, is what Marcus Mariota is signing. 1-year deal back with the Commanders.
Yeah, they could have given him that.
What'd they give Zach? 6?
Mm-hmm.
6.
Yeah. $2 million is a couple bottles of seltzer water.
Not when you have as many holes as the Dolphins have to fill. They did fill some yesterday, by the way. Let me pull up my Dolphins cheat sheet here. They keep Tyrell Dodson 2 years, $8.25 million.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They added a wide receiver, somebody who's above 6 feet. Thank the Lord. Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Doesn't matter. It's still going to be corner fades to Tyreek. This movie I've seen.
So he gets a $6.5 million deal over 2 years. He had 9 touchdowns last year, which was, I think, top 10 in the NFL.
All right.
And then they added former Jet safety Ashton Davis, 1 year, $2.5 million. He started 22 games for the Jets over 5 seasons.
All right.
Let me give y'all Ashton Davis and Tyreek Dodson. Those are the names we're going to hear when you don't have any money left. Don't expect any big name that you've heard in the past come to the Dolphins this season.
Especially because it's Tyrell Dodson.
What's his name again?
It doesn't matter.
The Dolphins perhaps will be able to fill out their roster via the draft because they have 11 picks in
Yeah,
the
I saw
upcoming
this.
NFL draft.
You
They
can't miss on 11 picks. You get 11 picks. I'm sorry. I mean, that's you're gonna find a Zion Williamson. You're gonna find a Duncan Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
If Stevie Wonder has 11 foul shots, how many is he going to hit?
I go 8 out of 11.
Chris Grier has the opportunity to do the funniest damn thing.
11 running backs. Pick the same guy 11 times.
We want to lock him in.
Go out in a blaze of glory, man. Do stuff nobody's ever heard of before. Dolphins
Out of
select
11
Danny Ainge.
Out of 11 guys, how many need to start?
How many need to
That's what
start?
people are doing. That's what the Eagles are doing. That's what the top teams are doing. There's young guys coming in that are starting for teams with the draft.
I mean, it depends. You want them to use their first round pick on an offensive lineman, correct?
And I want him to start. Yes.
And he should be able to start. That what's their first pick? Like, where is it, Solana?
13, I believe.
13. You take an offensive lineman, 13. That guy should absolutely be starting.
Guaranteed starter. Second pick, I would guess around the 40s, 44.
Yeah, 48.
He has to
second
start.
round.
He should 48. He should start.
But if you take like a linebacker, that's a tough position. You know it. You were a linebacker. Like that's a tough position to come in and start.
I started game one.
Yeah, but you had a great linebacking core. I think, yeah, again, I'm not taking away anything from you, but there was a great linebacking core. In other words, you didn't have to be the anchor of that linebacking core.
They just drafted Derek Pope 2 years before me. They drafted Eddie Moore a year before me. They had draft picks that they took to fill the space in behind Marlon Greenwood, whatever the hell his name was. And I took their jobs because they went out. Nick Saban went to the SEC and went and got a big ass 6'3", 250-pound All-American.
Well, do that, Chris Grier.
Yeah, Barry Jackson has been highlighting it in the Herald, and I think you read some of it yesterday, Hoch, where he's saying Grier's moves over the first 3 days of free agency, even though technically it begins officially today, are not those of a general manager in desperation mode to save his job.
No. He's not swinging for the fences. He's being very calm and calculated, staying within what he's got to do. Listen, if you're a GM on the way out, you get to restructure that contract and you go the hell with it, because if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be here anyway, and it's going to be someone else's problem to have to deal with longer Tua on the books. He's not doing that. So I think Chris Grier feels about this roster the way that I feel about this roster, which is that they're close.
Right.
I think Chris Grier has swung for the fences, and now he's trying to hit doubles. Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb, those were home run swings. Restructuring Tua, giving Tyreek 2 deals, giving Jalen Waddle another deal. I think he tried to be a home run hitter, and the balls kept getting caught by the center fielder. So now he's pulling back because Stephen Ross stuck with him. He was swinging Jalen Ramsey stuff. Like, he was swinging for the fences, and it didn't work.
Well, admittedly, they don't have the money to do that again. But what you could do is start restructuring and cutting and making some wild maneuvers. He thinks they're close, and I'm with him. I stand with Chris Grier.
I think he's buttoned down the third baseline trying to get on first to see what happens.
Right. If you only need a run, that's exactly what you do. Get on first base.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing exactly what I would be doing. You don't have to hit home runs.
Yeah, but it's more fun if Chris Grier throws in a wad like he's Dan Uggla and is just trying to hit it over the teal monster in left field every single day in free agency. It would have been more fun.
Well, we had that, though. We got that. That's why we're at a spot now where we can bunt our way on here and enjoy the fruits of our labor.
I used to hang with Dan Uggla and Chris Volstad.
I think it was Uggla's birthday yesterday, if I remember the show sheet from yesterday.
It was. Legend.
Yeah. Rams, by the way, have released Cooper Kupp.
Officially?
Yeah, seems like it.
Would Uggla throw in a wad just to, like when you say you hung out, I would imagine at a club or at a strip club or something.
Oh. No, I never, because that's when I used to dip. I used to dip a lot back then. So I do believe I've dipped with Uggla, but not at a club because there's women around and you can't get no woman with no big dip in your mouth.
Dan
Well,
Uggla.
if you're Dan Uggla, you might not have been able to, but you weren't.
Uggla was 5'8".
Dan Uggla.
I got more women. I got more women than Uggla, Hawk. Trust me.
Dan Uggla
Volstad was 6'7".
300 at bats a year. Dude was taking porn hacks.
Volstad was physically intimidating. Dan Uggla looked like a guy that was just, a gas station attendant. He could play baseball, but he wasn't.
What do you think Dan Uggla's career earnings were?
We did this once, like over $100 million.
It has to be, right? I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah.
76
Uggla made
million. $76 million.
Uggla made $76 million? I believe
Spent
I
it all
bought a
on
table
two.
Bro, porn hacks and dip.
He spent it all on dip.
I bought a table one time on South Beach with Dan Uggla. He had $76 million. Goodness gracious.
Well, he didn't back then. I could. There's no way he had it with the Marlins. They had to be after he moved on.
What do you make, Hawk?
$76 million.
You spent 75 on Grizzly long cut wintergreen, Crowder.
and those Ed Hardy shirts.
Man, I stopped dipping, but yeah, and I got my Ed Hardy still. Solana, please let me know. Please let me know when Ed Hardy's get back in style so I can start wearing them.
Yeah, soon. Everything's coming back in style. So soon.
Christian Audige with the crystals on it. Those were like $300 t-shirts. I got about 6 of them.
Crowder, if you were listening to yesterday's show and you heard him eat sausage links during the show, Crowder texted me this morning, speaking of contracts and paying for tables. Hey, do you think the station can reimburse me the $1,000 for sausage links and hamburger patties since we turned it into a bit?
Y'all were talking about reimbursements, man. I didn't know what goes over.
We were talking about reimbursements for actual show expenses, not sausage links.
I spent $492 yesterday at Publix. I need some bread.